Hi, I am Trina, and I am here today with my bonus daughter, aka my daughter-in-law,
Justinia, also known as Sania.
Join us in our conversations in becoming one family. So today our conversation is going to be about taking on your husband's last name.
Ooh, that's spicy.
And I mean, it could go so many different ways. There's different ways that you could go about this. And if you want to take on your husband's last name, if you don't, if you want to do a combination, hyphen, we're going to talk about it on today.
Because it's juicy, so why not take a seat, take some notes, because we about to jot some stuff down. Okay? All right.
Yeah, so let's dive in. I want to say I took on my husband's last name. I took it as a representation of honor, respect, and I also wanted to be Mrs. Johnson. It was just something as us uniting as one. I think it was a form of sign of unity, and I wanted to present.
Yes. And that's the thing. Let's talk about it. So I absolutely did take my husband's last name as well. So we both are Mrs. Johnson.
Yes, absolutely.
So like she said, the fact that we decided to do this was to show, that we honor our husband. We respect their legacy that they're going to be carrying with that last name. So for me, I definitely felt the importance behind changing my last name. Now, don't get me wrong. I know there are some women out there that they're like, oh, it's complicated. It's a lot of work and all this stuff. And don't get me wrong. I do maybe under certain circumstances can understand, but overall, I feel like you just got to put that work in. Do the extra work and get that last name done. But that's just my personal opinion. So.
Yeah, I think it all goes with a validation because you're the girlfriend, your fiance, now you're the wife, Mrs. such and such. So that validation was just a whole nother level. And the majority of women, they want to be a wife. They want to be a wifey. They want to take on their husband's last name because I'm going to go over some studies later on in the video. And it's interesting how different cultures and different places around the world, how they look at taking on the surname, the last name of the husband, or whether they might keep their last name because it's not legal. You don't have to take on the last name. It's your prerogative to do what you want to do with it.
And that's what's so interesting to me. Y'all, I just realized it's in my bloodline. Like, I'm like, dang, small world. Like, until I actually, think about it and really, realize, dang, by me being, Hispanic as well as African American, I'm just like, I really live in two sides of the world. But it's all good. I think it's beautiful to really be able to reflect on what my cultures look like, even with combining them and knowing the history behind them and just knowing too, like, how it's okay. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a right or wrong answer. These are all just, personal preferences and things that we feel we can relate to. So why not talk about it?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's more of a recognition thing. When you introduce yourself, the first thing people generally ask you, what is your name?
Yes.
Your name makes a statement. You're building a brand. As Justinia mentioned, you're building a legacy. Then we could dive in deeper. I had my children, my first son, before I was married. So usually people get married and then they have the children. So they want their children to be identified all in the one family with the same last name. So it was actually an issue when I was naming my son. My parents wanted him to name him my maiden name.
I didn't know this, y'all.
Yeah, and I'm like, look, exclusive, right? So my parents wanted me to name him my maiden name. And I was like, no. I didn't know then I was going to ended up getting married because I was on the girlfriend status. But we was in deep. We was already in 3 years. But yes, it was an issue that they did not want me to name him the last name because they were looking at, we were, young parents. And if this was going to last, that they wanted us to be with the same name. But if you think about that, regardless, if I would have got married on down the line to someone else, his last name still would have been different from mine.
Yes.
I never thought about hyphenating it. I just always wanted to give him his father's last name because especially with my firstborn being a male, they get their identity from their fathers.
Oh,
and I wanted that
stamp
on there. So Jasenia, let us know your perspective on it.
So I think that's like completely just mind-boggling because there's so many people out here that I feel put their children in identity crisis because of this. And it's like sometimes, you know, that child grows up thinking, I don't know, like they're just confused because they don't know, okay, is this really my dad, or who last name do I have? You know, is this going to be something that I can't change? Or, you know, they just have so many questions. And to me, it's just like, I don't know. For me personally, I definitely agree with taking on that last name. And I don't care how difficult it may seem. I don't care how much work you have to put in. It's just, do it. Like, why not? Like, and that's the thing. It's almost like, for instance, I know in the Hispanic culture, they have multiple names, right? Like, my mom, she actually has 2 last names. And I never really understood it. But even a best friend of mine, her husband has 2 last names. So she changed her last name to have 2 last names. And I'm like, wait, what? And he's Hispanic as well. And I'm just like, it doesn't, not that, I don't know. For me, it's just crazy to identify really then who do you belong to almost. Because, and not to say that, you know, if you just claim one side, that's all who you claim and stuff like that. But it's just more of not being so confusing, I guess. Like, you know, I just like that black and white, I guess, rather than in between gray area. Like, oh, I'm this and that and this. And then you be like, okay, so which one do you use the most? Because even my mom, she doesn't use both of her last names. She, most of the time, just initials one. And I'm just like, oh, that's interesting. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that goes back to a cultural background, as Jasenia was mentioning, a Hispanic background, even though others do it as well.
Yeah.
And then I just think that, like she says, the last name, it just identifies the child. Because I've been in situations where, of course, they're calling me by my child's name, last name, and that's not my last name. But I just answer instead of trying to explain it, because it just brings confusion. Rather than me going in detail, oh no, you know, I wasn't married when I had my child, so he named after his daddy. But I took on the name later on, and we officially got married, so it wasn't an issue later on. But when we first had our son, it was not an issue, but people were calling me by my husband now last name, because my son, of course, was named after his father. But I always think that gave him an identity, and there was no question of who his father was. He knew who his father was. He knew who his father's family was, and he knew that he was a Johnson.
Yes, yes. See, and that's just beautiful to me, because then they have something to be proud of. They have something to pass down, and that's what it's all about. Not saying with the 2 last names you can't do that as well, but it's just more complex. And that's where I'm just like, ooh, that seemed like a lot. Like, even thinking about a child, they're going to school and they have to write down their name, but they have 2 last names. Now they gotta figure out, oh dang, I gotta write my first name, my middle name, my 2 last names. Like, that's a lot, y'all. But not that they're capable, or I mean, not that they're not capable, but it's just, you know, a little complex. That's all. That's all.
And you're definitely building a legacy, because when you think about it, names mean so much. Even when you think about brands, you look at Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Levi's, these stores, these are family names. Toyota, these are family names, and the name continues to build up, like, not even really power, but they are well known.
Oh yeah.
And they're recognized.
Yes, yes. Anybody see any of those names that you just named, y'all know what that is. Don't act like you don't. No.
Right,
and
right.
if you don't for real, go look it up.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I mean, even the Hiltons, think about their legacy, what they have built with their brand, just off of their name.
Yes.
how much a name can just change and can just continue on. Because when you think about the Rockefellers, you think of wealth and you're like, okay, you a Rockefeller, oh, you got some wealth in your family, and it just continues on.
See, and that's the thing too, where I've actually talked to one of my best friends as well, and she kind of explained to me that she will hyphenate her name, and I'm not sure if she'll change her mind, but when she told me this, her explanation behind it made sense to me. And it was because she's actually going to school and she is getting important licenses and, certifications and stuff that, requires her last name, obviously, because once you graduate, you get your diploma, your names is on your diploma and stuff like that. So when she told me that, she's like, but honestly, I want to carry my father's legacy with me because this is where it all started. And I was like, you know what? That's beautiful. So, like I said, it really depends on your personal preference and situation and what you're going through, and even your partner, though, because you got to really have that conversation with them so they can understand why do you choose, to keep your last name or to just take their last name. And even when it comes to like, getting married, or God forbid something happens and you want to remarry and stuff like that. Like, are you going to keep the last name, take the last name back, or all that stuff is very important. So, yeah.
And now when she said that if you want to keep the last name, I have heard through courts, when people go to divorce, they be like, oh no, she's not going to keep my last name.
Yes.
So
yes.
It's something with the male too, as they feel like, okay, well, I don't know exactly how they feel about it, but I've heard situations where they did not want the woman to keep their last name. I don't know because they want the wife anymore, or if the unity has been broke, or what the situation is, but they did not want the last name to continue on with the ex-wife.
Yeah, honestly, I think it is more of like, you're not a part of me anymore. And that's
I think so
where
too.
I'm saying, like, when you marry and you take on that last name, that's not only you that you're representing a family, a legacy, so it's, I don't know, it just means a lot more to not just you, but everybody around you, and even the in-laws.
Right, yeah.
So,
and some ladies might think that they're losing their identity. You are not losing your identity.
Not at
Definitely not. You still have your own personality, your own character. You are who you are. No one can take that away from you.
Absolutely.
You are the only one of you.
Yes.
And you will continue to be yourself, even when you're married. Don't be afraid of losing your identity, because you know what? There's a reason why he chose you to be the wife.
Yes.
Which says so much. There's a reason why you were asked to be the wife.
Yes.
Because everyone is not a wife. And I'm not saying anything about singlehood, because singlehood is great, especially when you're doing it correctly.
Yes.
Of course, any relationship can be done not appropriately, but no, nothing against singlehood or whatever, but there's something about being that husband and wife when you come together as one.
Yes.
It's building, it's coming together, it's bringing two personalities into one. It is truly a unity. Even though sometimes it's hard to get on one accord, and you might not have the same, I guess, decisions on certain things, it still is such a powerful connection to be that wife, to be that missus, and to represent your husband. And even when the husband is introducing you, my wife.
Yeah.
Usually that's the first thing that comes, this is my wife. And it's like, oh yeah, yeah. So I'm Mrs. Such and so, right, yeah. And you know what? Ladies, I'm going to have to throw this in here.
Yeah.
It lets you know, hey, I am the wife. Don't even try it, okay?
Not at all. Oh my goodness.
Yes, I mean, it is.
That is
me
true.
As a seasoned 20 plus years in, and Jacinia as a newlywed, she know when she introduced, this is my wife.
Oh, it's me.
Right, I am here.
Absolutely. It just makes that statement, and it's very rewarding to me as well. So that's why, like, when it just comes to, you know, the last name, I just feel it holds so much weight that it's like,
yes,
how much do you respect this name? How much do you honor this name? How much are you going to, I don't know, just really emphasize on the importance of who you are as a family, not just by yourself. But it's funny because as you were talking, a whole bunch of, or I ain't gonna say a whole bunch of, but a scripture actually popped in my mind where he who finds a good wife finds a good thing. And I'm like,
favor.
Yes. I'm like, man, it's just, I don't know. It's so beautiful. Sorry. It's so beautiful to just experience this, as well as, like I said, talk about it, because everybody in the world doesn't do the same thing. And it's just interesting to see the different cultures or the different reasons why people choose to do different things. So
yeah, so we talked on a little bit about the Hispanic history.
Yes.
So now, since she said with the different cultures, I'm going to touch on a little bit of things that I read off heal.com.
Okay.
So something that I found interesting was traditionally women in China, Korea, and Vietnam keep their surname after marrying, which is also happens in the Muslim communities. If you are any part of these communities, make a comment and let us know, how do you guys feel about it? Would you rather it be the other way, or do you just appreciate this tradition and culture? Let us know, because we definitely want to honor all marriages.
Absolutely.
Then we're gonna go over to France, Belgium, and Netherlands. They require people to keep their surname. So the name stays the same whether they're married or not. So I guess I don't know anyone personally in France. I've been to France before, but with this being you keep your surname, I mean that's dope too, because you know you don't go through the transition of all that paperwork, because it is a lot of paperwork to change your name. And I have to say that I actually have a couple bills still in my maiden name. Yes, that I never even changed over, because I was like, I changed all the important stuff, of course, but I was just like, this ain't nothing but a cell phone bill. I just keep it the same. So
me, I'm trying to run from it. I'm like, they ain't gonna find me. But yeah, that's definitely very interesting facts that you said. Now, I do want to clarify, just so anybody, if you have any questions, just kind of like how I'm thinking. But when you say their surname, you're still saying their maiden name.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So the surname is
sure.
Correct, is the maiden name. And like we say, your names are connected to your culture, it's connected to your heritage, because we know certain names, we're in the United States. When you hear certain names, you know if it's not of someone in the United States, if it's a foreign name. And I'm going to tell you now, the majority of the people that's here in the States did not originally originate. Their roots came from other countries, definitely.
Yep. Which actually brings me to the question too, when there's arranged marriages, do you feel that they take on the last name as well, or is that something that, you know, they get to choose? Like, how do their fathers make that decision? You know, like, I don't know. That's interesting. I would have to research that as well. So that's bad on my part. I should have did that.
I've seen, the different TV shows with arranged marriages and stuff like that, and generally they work out.
Yeah.
And which is, I guess great, especially if the family is choosing. And that's again, the family. They choose the family for their children.
Yeah.
What family will be good for them in the marriages, and what will continue on when you bring them into your family. So there is so much. If you are in an arranged marriage, feel free to drop a comment and say how it's working for you.
Yes. I would love to hear
if you didn't want to do it, if you wanted to do it, or if that's all that you knew because that's what you saw. But we definitely would love to know how that worked out for you.
Yeah. So if, for instance, you had to, I guess, allow your family to pick, do you think they would have done a good job?
Probably not. Probably not. I'm gonna say your family, they have an ideal of what mate that you would want, but do they really know what your heart really needs?
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, what your heart needs. And not only that, so I believe that your husband or your wife, they should be your soulmate.
Yep, I agree. 100%.
Because it definitely is a soul connection that takes place when you step into that realm of husband and wife.
Absolutely. Well,
so as you're coming into this unity as in-laws, what do you call your in-laws? What name do you have for them? And I'm talking about positive names.
I was gonna say
not the name under the breath, or I'm just playing. But y'all know y'all do sometimes call people names that you shouldn't call them.
Yes.
But I want to go on with my husband. I never really struggled with the name thing. I just call them by their name, their first name. And I know some people question this because if they say mom, dad, mother-in-love, father-in-love, pops. I just always kept with the name. So it wasn't really a struggle for me. I just felt comfortable calling by the name because it used to be kind of the Mrs. such and such, but it was like, call me by my name. And I respect that. If that's what they want to be called by, then that's what I call them by.
Yeah. See, for me, that was just too formal. I wanted to be a little more personable. So I say mother-in-love as well as father-in-love because I just feel like it's not about in-laws, it's in love. I made this decision in love, so this is why I decided to call them my in-laws, not my in-laws.
Yeah, and if she would have called me like mom, I wouldn't have felt comfortable with that because I know some people be like, my mom, my dad.
Yeah.
No, I see Jacinia as my bonus daughter, aka my daughter-in-law, because she is like a daughter to me now. So, if she would have called me mom or dad, I mean, you have one mom and she deserves that name and she's earned that title, and that's who the name is for, your mom, not your mother-in-law.
Right. But it is a little different too, because for me, I don't even call my mom. I call her mommy. So, and I would always call her mommy. I don't know if that's a Hispanic thing either, but I definitely just feel that that's where that respect is. Or like in the Hispanic culture, we say mi madre, or, there's just so many things that we can, I guess, identify as, but that's the thing, like with the different cultures, it's just beautiful because you can expand like in different languages and in different expressions can mean different things and all that good stuff. So it's just beautiful to me. But I don't even remember, did I ask you about like
No, and I was going to say, maybe I should have asked you, what would you rather be called? But I mean, as she introduced herself by her name, that's why I always call her name. She did not ask me about mother-in-law. She just kind of took it on. So, which is fine because I was like, good, I didn't want her to call me mom. So mother-in-law was fine. And then I just think it was more of something, personal and like a connection that she wanted to have with our family rather than just continue to call us Mrs. Johnson or Mr. Johnson.
Absolutely. Like I said, for me, it was just too formal. Like, I didn't get in this marriage, I would say, to be under law. And that's the thing where, I don't know, maybe I'm a little delusional where I'm too like picky about different things, but I just feel like, no, this is out of love. So for everything that comes from me, I want them to know it's all out of love. So yeah,
which is good. Which I guess I could have asked Jacinia what did she want to be called, but I just always called her by her name because that's her uniqueness.
Yes, I love that.
That's her uniqueness. And I know no other Jacinia, so she is definitely a unique individual.
Oh, thank you. So
And even my grandchildren names, they are unique, and they all have their different character. They all have their different personality, and the naming just makes a difference. Even so, we're talking about the in-laws, we're talking about the names, but we know names make a difference in society.
Yes.
People recognize you by who you are, by your name, and they also could be a little biased.
Yep, y'all know y'all been in that situation before.
Yeah.
Like, think about when you applying for jobs and you be like, this person name, you don't even meet the person yet, but you be like, this the person name, this and that and the third, oh, she Hispanic, or they this and they that, like,
right, yeah,
you're prejudging off of a name,
right,
and
so
then they come in and surprise you.
Right, you're right, exactly. It definitely could be a little stereotype going on there, but we do. When we see people name, when we say people name, we do identify them with their name. And there's billions of people here on the earth. Mm-hmm. And how do you identify them? You say their name.
Yeah.
And they answer.
Yeah. It's that credibility.
Right, yeah. So how much weight does your name hold? Mm-hmm. And that could be actually in the spirit. Mm-hmm. That could be in social situations.
Yes.
And also, just across the earth, because certain things, different nations, they know names. I'm going to tell you some popular names that are known. Michael Jackson. Michael Jordan. The two Michaels, they are known worldwide.
Yep. Yeah.
So your name just holds so much weight. And I chose to take on my husband's last name. Jacinio chose to take on my son's last name. Yeah. And it just depends on your preference.
Absolutely.
Depends on what you want to do. So we just hope you guys enjoyed this conversation with taking on the names. I know people stress about this. It's just really your preference, what makes you comfortable, and what you want to do.
Yeah, like she said, there's no right or wrong answer. We just thought it was a great topic to cover. So let us know in the comments what you guys think. What are your situations personally, and how do you guys feel about it? So that wraps us up for this video. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is our story in becoming one.